Hi there, my name is Sam, and in this course I'll show you how to create a buy box for a bundle with a one-time purchase option and a subscribe and save option with different subscription intervals and a discount automatically applied. I'll show you how to create the bundle within Shopify, the subscription, and how to build it with Instant. So let's get started. Before we start building this buy box, let's go over the bundle and subscription options. The bundle I have created with Shopify Bundles, which is an app you can use for free. And I've created this bundle right here, which contains of 3 different products. I can select this bundle within Instant as a single product, and then all the 3 products will be added automatically to the cart. Then for the subscription options, I've used Recharge to create a subscription for this bundle, but you can use any other subscription provider that allows you to create subscriptions and discounts for bundles. So within products, we can find the workout bundle and we can see that there's a subscription active. So when we click on it, we can see that there are 3 different intervals, 2 weeks, 4 weeks and 6 weeks, all with a 20% discount. And these 3 intervals we can select within Instant automatically, which I will show you later on when we build the buy box. Back in Instant, let's start building. So the foundation of the product page is already in place, and we will focus on creating and customizing the buy box, working with the different selling plans and covering the basics of conditional logic. The base row of this page is already connected to a Shopify product, indicated by this Shopify icon in the layer panel, and on the right we can see it's connected to the workout bundle product. Now let's drag in the selling plan option element. So within the insert panel under elements and variant, you can find the selling plan element, which we will use as a base and customize to our liking. So let's drag and drop it in between the different products and the add to bag button. And there we have it. By default, this selling plan element is connected to a Shopify product. As you can see right here, we don't need this connection on this layer since the entire layer or the base row is already connected to the correct product. So let's delete the Shopify connection right here. Now let's zoom in a little bit more so we get a better view of the buy box. And the first thing we will do is delete the max width that is added by default to this element. So let's delete it right here. And now the different selling plans or the buy box fills up all the space that is available. First, let's focus on the one-time purchase option. So we select the text element right here and change the size to 16. We do the same for the price element, change the size to 16, and we delete this text element right here. Now let's customize some of these colors. The colors are coming from a certain action, and we can see that under interactions, and we can see that there's an effect by default, which in this case is an active effect. And with an active effect, you essentially say whenever this option is selected or active, it will have certain properties. And in this case, it is a light blue fill color and a darker blue border. So let's customize these options. For the fill color, we choose this branded gray color. And for the border, we change the color to black. And there we have it. We do the same thing for this indicator. Under interactions, you can see an active effect. We click on it and we change the border to black, and there we go. Then this entire option, the one-time purchase option, is also connected to an action. And in this case, a selling plan. This is also what we want, but let's quickly delete it so you can see how to set this up. So we add an action to this entire layer. The action is select selling plan, and then we can choose between all the different selling plans we have created within Recharge, from the one-time purchase, which is the default, to the different intervals. So for this one, let's select the one-time purchase. There we have it. Now let's focus on the subscribe and save option. And the first thing we will do is add a selling plan action. There's one by default, but again, let's create it from scratch. So the subscribe and save layer is selected, as you can see right here. Then we add an action under interactions. The action is select selling plan, and then we can choose between any of the subscription intervals we want. This doesn't matter as long as one subscription is active. So for this case, let's select the 2-week subscription interval with a 20% discount. And now when we preview, you can already see it's starting to get shape. So when we select subscribe and save, we can choose between all the different intervals, and the interval we've selected in the beginning as the default will also be selected right here as a default. But of course, we can also change it. What you can also see is that with the price of the bundle, the 20% discount is automatically applied and reflected in the price element right here. Something else which is visible is that when the one-time purchase option is selected, we can't see the drop-down where we can select the different intervals for the subscription. We can only see this when the subscribe and save option is active. And the way to accomplish this is with conditional logic. So before we customize the subscribe and save option, let's focus on the conditional logic so you can understand how to hide and show certain elements based on certain product criteria. So let's exit the preview mode. We select the subscribe and save option. Then we go one layer deeper and select the plan drop down. And right here under settings, you can see that by default, there is a conditional. To really understand this, let's delete it and create the conditional from scratch. So the plan drop-down element is selected. Now let's add a condition. And now we can determine to show this layer when the selling plan is not one-time purchase. And this way the plan drop-down element will only show when the selling plan is not one-time purchase. So whenever the subscribe and save option is active, it will also automatically show the plan drop-down element. And that's how you can work with conditional logic. Now let's customize the subscribe and save option a little bit more. So we select the text layer, then we change the size to 16. We do the same thing for the price, size 16. There we go. Let's also change the active colors, which are added by default to these elements. Under interactions, we can find the active state. So the active state, just as with the one-time purchase, is light blue and dark blue. Let's change it to this gray brand color and make the border black. Then we do the same thing for the indicator right here. Change the active border to black, and there we go. Then let's change this text element to size 14, and then we write down how subscriptions work. Now let's drag in a row in between the selling plan dropdown and this text element. Within the insert panel, we can find a row, drag it in between, and now we copy and paste this text element into the row, and we can start to customize it a little bit more. So on this row is a minimum height of 200. Let's delete that. And then within this row, we will also drag in an icon. So we drag it within the row. There we go. Then we change the direction of this row to horizontal. So the text element and the icon are next to each other. We change the gap to, let's say, 6. We change the order around, and there we go. Now we select this icon. We change the width and height to 12 by 12. We search for another icon, which can be the check mark, and then we change the color to black, and we change the type to fill. This looks already way better. Now let's change this text element to say lowest price option. And then let's make sure that the icon is in the middle of this row by changing the alignment to the center. And now let's duplicate it once, 2 times, and the third and final time. Then this can say 20% off all recurring orders. This can say easily swap and skip deliveries, and this can say cancel quickly anytime. And there we go. The next thing we will do is go to the insert panel again, and then we drag in a column in between the price and the text element. So there we have it. Then we copy and paste the price element within this row. We delete this price element and we delete the minimum height and set the width to fit. We add some inside spacing, 4 to the top and bottom, 4 to the left and right. And then we change the fill color to this branded green color. So now this price element really stands out. The last thing I want to do is add a border radius of 6 to this column, and there we have it. This is looking very, very good. Now let's quickly preview to see what this looks like. We select the subscribe and save option. The same colors show and the conditional logic also works. Now let's continue with customizing. So what's left to do is to create a bar above the subscribe and save option that says save 20% on delivery. And the way to accomplish this is to select the layer that holds both the one-time purchase and the subscribe and save option, which is this layer right here, the selling plan select. And then we delete the gap that exists right here and change it to 0. Now there's no more gap in between these elements. Then we select the one-time purchase layer. We add some spacing around to the bottom, which will be 8. And then we add in another row and drag it in between these elements. And now this row snaps to the subscribe and save option because there's no gap. And right here, there's still some space between the one-time purchase and the row because we added 8 pixels worth of around spacing to this one-time purchase option layer. Let's set the height of this row to 30. Then we delete the minimum height. Then we give it a fill color, this branded green color. Then we copy and paste one of these text elements into this row. This should say save 20% on every delivery, and then we place it in the middle of the row by changing the distribute and align settings from the middle and from the center. There we have it. And now we need to play around with the border radius. So for the subscribe and save layer, there is a border radius of 8. Let's open the individual sides and delete it on the top left corner and top right corner. And then for this bar right here, we add it to the top left and top right. So 8 to the top left and 8 to the top right. And this is looking very, very good. Now let's preview one last time to see what we have created. And as you can see, we've created a beautiful buy box for this bundle with conditional logic, subscriptions and discounts. And that's it for this tutorial. So I hope you have a good understanding on how to create an advanced buy box in a matter of minutes and all without code. I hope you were able to follow along. Good luck and stay tuned for more courses.